Hi, this is Brandon Smiley from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the lateral lunge. This is a great single leg exercise for athletes and clients to be able to get them moving out of the sagittal plane. So we want to try to make sure we're moving the frontal plane from time to time. We get very stuck in the sagittal plane, up and down kind of motion. Nice thing is we're moving side to side, and we're going to open up some freedom for some of our personal training clients and for our athletes. One big thing is to make sure that when we go to cut, we want to be able to have the strength in that cut, or when we go to change direction, to be able to apply the force into the ground and leave that position in a strong position to get ahead of the athlete or the opponent or the ball or whatever it is that we're chasing. So the lateral lunge is definitely a staple exercise we like for many of our athletes that need to change of direction work. We definitely progress them to this. We have other exercises that we use to be able to teach them how to sit into that back hip. But once they've got that down, the lateral lunge is a great place to be able to get many of your middle school and high school kids performing on a weekly basis. So I'm going to show this in the goblet position. You've got plenty of options loading wise. We prefer the goblet position, but it's going to reinforce good postural technique as we go to sit into that hip. So goblet positions, dumbbell is up here in the chest, and we're going to make sure that we start with our feet together, and we're going to step towards one direction or the other. So I'm going to step towards my right, and we're going to take a good big wide step. I'm going to make sure I break at the hips, push my hips back, keep my torso in a good position, and then come back to the start position. So I'm going to be here, push, push, push. Give you a side view here. So when we do the lunge, we can make sure that we do not have to actually get really deep into a below 90-degree angle. Some of your athletes will be able to, some of your athletes will not be able to. Make sure that your athletes are doing what they're capable to, that's comfortable, that they're not completely bent over. Many athletes, when they go to step, they're going to get here, and that's about all they're going to feel comfortable with, okay? They don't have the required glute hamstring strength to actually get down here and hold a position with the abdominal strength to be able to maintain a good position, or the ability to get the adductor long enough to be able to get in that position. So you got three main areas to make sure that you coach well, assess your athlete, meet them in the middle, find what you can do to help them get in that position a little bit better. So sometimes that might be soft tissue work on the adductors as part of your warm-up and your cool-down. Some of that might be improving the glute and hamstring strength, so more pull-throughs, more glute bridges, more RDLs, anything like that is going to help bring that posterior chain up. The other part might be some abdominal work, so make sure you're doing more front-loaded if you're going to load a goblet, if you know you're going to have two dumbbells, however you're going to coach it. But also to make sure that the abdominals are getting strong so you can maintain that position as a whole. So you're going to mount more planks and dead bugs and pallet holds and things like that so that you resist movement, and this also is good and still. When they go down, they're in a good athletic position. One cheat that you can implement for your athletes if they're really, really struggling with that adductor is to have them on that heel and let that heel open up as they lunge this way. That might give some of your athletes the ability to get a little lower. As you can see, I kind of improve when I do that. And that's another way that you could help them potentially get a little bit lower, but also let you know that you need to work on that adductor from a soft tissue standpoint. When we program this, we like 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps a leg. I like to have my athletes prefer to do one leg and then the other. That way we can really notice if there's some kind of difference in terms of not only lower body strength on each side, but if they tend to have a favorite leg that they're going to try to sit into a little bit more, we may actually make sure that they're getting a little more reps on that bad side if they're not so strong on it. So very simple exercise, but there can be a lot of coaching things that can really go wrong with some athletes. So again, we really like to try to start them with some different exercises like a lateral lunge to box or just an in-place lateral lunge, and then move them to where they're actually stepping and moving through space and get them moving a little bit and begin to work on moving in that frontal plane, and like I said, just not always being in the sagittal plane with our single leg work. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.